to be joined here by my colleague Donna Campbell, and we are so delighted to be here with our guest of the evening. Her name is Marie Diamond. I know that you all, thank you so much, Shane, know her. She is an author of many books. She was in the film The Secret. She has the app, the Marie Diamond app. You can find her work on mariediamond.com. And she has some really exciting news for you all today because she just launched a new interactive experience that we're going to be talking about today. But it's the Marie Diamond Network, where she is on live TV connecting with her community all around the world. Marie has written the book Your Home is a Vision Board, and you've already heard it here from some of our guests here that there are so many practical insights in the book that are actionable. And that when you heed the guidance in the book, things shift in your life. So I'm so delighted to be joined here by my colleague Donna Campbell as we further introduce Marie Diamond. Thank you so much. And welcome, Marie.
Hello, ladies. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody online. So wonderful to be here.
Yes, we still have going strong over 500 people here watching us online. Thank you, everybody. And please keep those comments coming in.
Yes. So, okay, Marie, you've written a number of books. You have traveled all around the world, and Your Home is a Vision Board. It reframes the understanding of what a vision board is. It brings it to life right there in people's spaces. As we kick off our discussion today, what is it about even the title, Your Home is a Vision Board, that you want really people to understand and connect with and be curious about?
Well, as you know, I was in the movie The Secret that kind of launched this whole idea, almost mainstream, about vision boards, right? So when John Asraf in The Secret was talking about vision boards, from that moment on, it became like its own journey and movement that people started really making vision boards or mood boards, whatever they call it, dream boards. And so, and I made a vision board. I remember it was actually a vision wall. I kind of put on the wall in my room all the things I wanted to establish, the places I wanted to travel to, and so forth. But what I then later on understood as I became a feng shui master is that it's not just what you put on paper that can help you, and not just by writing the goals and putting beautiful images around it, but actually that everything around us is constantly subconsciously giving us a message. And if that's in your bedroom, in your living room, here in Barnes and Nobles, here in the Grove, I mean, can you imagine all the messages we're getting here by all the books that are here. Millions, right, of messages. But the whole point is that I started understanding that as I'm a feng shui master, I started understanding that everything around us is affecting us on a subconscious mind. And I wanted to find a way to explain it that was related with manifestation and the law of attraction. And so I remember very exactly, I was in Prague in 2017 teaching about the law of attraction to about 500 people, and people were like, but how is it affecting me? And it was the question, and I said, well, your home is a three-dimensional vision board. And from that on, and everybody in the room was like, now we understand it. And that's actually where the title came from, because from that moment on, I explained to people how their space that they live, work, and sleep in is really affecting them non-stop. It's an ongoing message that is given all the time around you. And that's how we started with this book. Yeah.
Wow, that's so fascinating. And since then, so your book, it came out in the fall of last year. What is something that has most surprised you about what people have been experiencing or doing since coming into connection with the words on the page in your book?
Well, it was written with a lot of love and a lot of blessings in it. And there were two things. First of all, I love the fact that people have shared it with so many of their friends. Like, they bought a book, they bought 10 more books and gave it to other people. What I loved about it, because it was like, it's not just for me, I'm going to give it to my friend, I'm going to give it to my sister. So, and people would text me or DM me on Instagram like, oh, I got it from this person, I'm reading this book, and I bought already a few more books and I'm giving it away. So that was always so beautiful, because you see that it really impacted them and they wanted to share it. And a second part, and I think I shared earlier to you, what I love about when some people would say like, oh, we read your book, we made our vision board, because it also teaches you how to make a vision board based on your personal energy number, and that's based on your birthday. And they said like, we did it with the whole family, like the parents, the children, we all sit together, we go step by step, we create our vision board, we have downloaded your free app, and then from there, having their vision board, they went to their bedrooms of the children, the bedrooms of, or wherever they are sitting, and seeing if that environment is reflecting what they have put on paper. And that was such a sweet moment when I started seeing that more and more. I got messages from people saying, we do it as a family. That was super sweet.
Yeah, I love that. I have to say, I bought the book for my mom. I was like, how can she kind of shift things around at home? And it's fascinating. I remember when I first bought a copy of your book, I was reading it on a train. And I was taking notes, and I was like, wait, I need to read this at home, right? Because there are so many actionable insights that people can take. So can you walk some of our guests here that are joining us in person and online on how to think about and frame their understanding of how to truly amplify the impact that the book can have on their life, by like even how to approach when to read it, how to think about your space when you're reading it, how to connect your app to the experience of reading the book to really transform their space?
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would like to share is like, I want you to become aware of your environment, because most people are not of that. And so I think definitely in the time of COVID, people became more aware because they were more at home. Like, they were not only living at home, they were also working at home. There was just 24 hours a day that they were at home. So I think that's kind of shifted people more to become aware of, wow, that clutter, the chaos that is here, oh, I don't like it. It was a time when most people were renovating, remodeling their space, was actually during COVID. And so it was really interesting for people to start seeing like, is this home still reflecting me? Yeah, because I always say to people, ask yourself two questions, right? It's like, walk through your home and ask yourself the first question: is this home reflecting me right now? Yeah. And the second question is my home reflecting myself for the future? Yeah. So, for example, you're single, right? And you have your mindset and your life is all about, okay, I'm okay to be single. And then you look around and you see you have all these images of single women around you, or a single cat, a single candle, a single this, like, and they're like, well, you've been reflecting what you feel in the outside world, not just in the people you meet. Perhaps you are having a lot of single girlfriends, but also because it's normal. You externalize the energy that you are, yeah, and the actions you take, but also in your environment. But what if you can change that, and to say that, like, what do I really want to become, and that you see like, well, I really want to be in a relationship. Okay, why don't you put two candles and two cats and two hearts, and just saying like, hey, I'm open to a twosome, right? We're not going into the threesome here. But the whole point is just changing that energy, right? And so I wanted people to become aware how important the environment was. And so in The Secret, for example, I was the only one that was talking about how the environment was creating a mindset. Yeah. And And I've seen over the years that a lot of people are trying a lot of attraction, manifesting, but they're missing a major tool, and that is not the tool of your mind, or the tool of your writing, or the tool of your speaking and your actions. It is actually your home is one of your manifestation tools. Yeah? Because it's reflecting you, and so the more you share outward what you want to become, the more it also will again go inside of yourself, and there's this almost energy moving back and forward, so that you're like, oh, I am, my life is in chaos, but look around you, it is in chaos, your home, it's a mess. But you don't think about that. That is also again affecting you in yourself again. So there's like this in and outgoing vibration. And so for me, understanding that and helping to share people in a very simple way, to become aware, like look around, what are the things you can do, and then knowing that this process is a very personal process, and that is actually based on your personal birthday. We call it personal feng shui, and that's why we're bringing the personal Marie Diamond app, where you're putting in your birthday, and you're getting literally a I would say almost a profile that you see like, oh, this is a good direction for me. This is what I can place there, and as you're doing that, you're adding such a huge part of your law of attraction that is manifesting easier, more effortless, because everything is aligned. Not just what is inside of you, of course it starts always inside of you, but how you align it with the outside world, and then how the outside world aligns it back into you.
I absolutely love that. And like Alicia, reading this on a plane, I realized, and I have read it more than once, that when you're in your own home environment, you're reading it, I like to take quick action. So I started implementing everything in here and have followed a lot of the advice. And now well, I have several questions for you, but the first question is, now that I have done that, and one of the things I love to do is to travel. So now I'm traveling everywhere, and I'm not home in my own environment. I'm in other people's environments, or hotel rooms, or Airbnbs, and different things. So when a person has the life of their dreams and they're traveling, and they're not home in their own environment like this, what would you recommend to that person to stay energetically in alignment and balanced?
I love that question.
Yeah, well, I'm traveling all the time, so I can answer that very well. So I would say, first of all, you have to understand that a space holds energy, and there can be energy, especially in a hotel, from people that have been, I don't know, thousands of people have been in that hotel room. So how can you make it your own, even if it's for one night? Yeah. So I always, for example, have some lavender essential oil with me, or a lavender spray. So to just spray that energy, open the window if you can, and you can even focus on having a magnet and kind of pulling it all out, whatever works for you, but just to create a little more an atmosphere. And it can be that you like another essential oil, like something that it feels like it becomes your home, right? So that is something that can be helpful. And then what I always do, I always have a fabric with me to cover the television, because at night the television reflects back, because it's like a mirror, and that means that that mirror has seen a lot of people sleeping there and perhaps doing a lot of other things.
So we're inside and wisdom here.
So I cover that so that it doesn't become like a portal of memories that has been in that space. Yeah.
That's
And
good.
so by doing that, it really immediately becomes much calmer, especially if you have a mirror. Even I have even put suitcases in front of it. I mean, I did hang my vests over it. As the moment I do that, everything becomes more calmer. And then, based on your personal, the app that you have and your energy number, there is in every room your success direction. So you can literally download the app, and then I have my compass, and my success direction is southwest. So I literally check every room, if it's the Airbnb or is it a hotel room, where is my success direction. If there's a garbage bin there, I immediately move it. because otherwise I put, my success in the garbage. I get a little table, or I even put my suitcase there, and I put things on it. I always have my book with me, yeah. I have post-it notes with me, and I write some goals that I have, or I stick it in that area that is good for me, and I hang it on the wall. You should see my hotel room, it's very funny, right? And it's like, oh, I'm here, I'm speaking for this audience, okay, I write the goals and I put them there. I always have a picture of my family with me, yeah, and my dogs, right? And I also have a little crystal globe with me, yeah? And I always put that in my relationship direction in my hotel, because wherever I am, I'm connecting with humanity and connecting with all my students worldwide. So, and of course, I see my family there. And I make sure I do not put any clutter in my good directions. And that's, of course, explains this in the book. Because otherwise you're creating more beta brainwaves, and you want to create alpha brainwaves. I sometimes in a hotel room and I need to work, email, sometimes calls, podcasts, interviews, and I make sure I'm always facing a good direction. So the good direction is seeing the door, always see the door. Somebody was mentioning it. Never sit with your back to the door, because you're not in a command position. We are really good here,
Yes.
right? Because we see all of you, we see what's going on in this space. You guys don't see it, right? But hey, we're the ones speaking, so that's fine, right? So even in a hotel room, I never sit with my back to the room, to the door. So whenever I am online, and I also try to face one of the good directions. These are simple things that you can do every time in every place, and I do this for 30 years. Because the next day I have to speak sometimes with thousands of people. I need to be on top of my game, yeah? And I don't make any clutter in my hotel room.
Wow. Wow. I think I'm going to be remodeling all the spaces right now. I'm going to have an extra suitcase. The other question I had for you, Marie, is, a lot of people ask about their office space, their bedroom space. Art was asking about his bathroom. Is there a question that is very common among everyone, that is like the number one question everybody wants to know about?
Well, it's interesting. A lot of people ask about bathrooms and kitchens, and I always say, don't worry so much about it, because you don't spend time there. It's like I always say, focus on the spaces where you spend at least 3 to 5 hours a day. And if you spend 3 to 5 hours a day in your bathroom, there's a problem with you. Okay? So make sure you keep it clean, you keep it organized, make it smell nice. You can have your seated toilet.
Your response, Art.
Beautiful, no problem with that. Just don't put personal things in your kitchen or your bathroom. No personal images, no pictures, because there's a sink or a stove in the kitchen. You're draining things, you're burning things, so don't have that. For example, a lot of people put in their kitchen, on their fridge, they would put all images of their family, right, or their travels, and I said, you're freezing them. It's cold there, don't do that. You open that door and it doesn't always smell so fresh in a fridge. So just take that out, put them in the living room, put these images in the family room, in your bedroom, where people would literally visit you. They don't visit you at the fridge, yeah? So it's just like, this is, people ask always these questions, and I'm thinking, don't focus there, focus on the living room, focus on the office, focus on the bedroom, because that's where you spend time, sleeping, working, enjoying your family life. So make sure these places are really wonderful to be there. There's there's a good atmosphere, some good colors. So all the elements should be there. Just feel that this is a place where you can live fully in your highest self, and the most expansive, and the most, what I love about what you said, the most miraculous self. Yeah.
Wow, so subtle yet so effective. I think you can see the visual if you have a picture of your family in your freezer. You're literally freezing them. And so oftentimes there are a lot of things in our space, and we don't really understand the subtle impact or the subtle messages that we're sending to ourselves and the people around us. And I love that about your work. You really remind people that it can be so subtle, but it's so effective, and the impact is actually pretty profound, or it can be profound on your life.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and it's just simple things sometimes, but I always say, for example, like say in a bedroom, right? I was just in somebody's bedroom and they had a huge painting of a horse. And she said, I love a horse. I said, do you ride a horse in your bedroom? She said, no, of course not. I said, well, you know, if this horse would be really here, how would your subconscious mind feel? Your subconscious mind would say, whoa, I don't think I will sleep here, right? She said, I'm so restless here. I don't sleep very well here. I said, of course not. There's a horse in your bedroom, right? Take that out. You know, a horse is a very big, beautiful being. And she said, oh, but can I then put it in my living room? I said, yeah, that's fine. You're awake there. That's not a problem, right? So we have to become aware that everything around us is giving us a story, a message in our subconscious mind. And is that story right for that area? Yeah. If you have like an image of, you know, I would say Picasso, for example, with a woman that's all like, you know, strangely painted, and you would hang that above your headboard, how would that woman feel that sleeps under it? Yeah? So I just want you to pay more attention to the things that you have around you and how that can affect you.
Wow, that's so good. It's such a, it's, you know, they say, there's that saying that your life is a reflection of the 5 people that you spend the most time around, but it's like your life is also a reflection of the 5 spaces that you spend your most time in.
It is definitely affected by the place where you spend more than 5 hours a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are in your office and, you know, you're sitting the wrong way and you are literally surrounded by mess and chaos, how can your business move forward? It's impossible, right? You're just not focused. And so what do you have around you is going to affect your business, your prosperity, mentality, and so on, you know? So make sure that space is telling what you are about, right? I have my awards out, I have my certificates out. It's like I have images of thank you notes, like, you know, when you come into my office, you recognize it is my office, yeah? It's not like somebody else's their office, right? So many times I've seen that people put things out that just are not reflecting of the work that they want to bring or the purpose that they have in their life. And sometimes I find that the books or whatever they want to like in areas that don't make sense. I remember once I went to the home of one of the Rolling Stones, right? And so I come and I'm like, I'm looking everywhere where his golden records were hanging and I couldn't find them till I went to his restroom, his toilet area. And it was a very huge bathroom and there were all his golden records. And I said, how are you feeling lately about going on tour with the rest of your friends? And the Rolling Stones said, I don't want to go on a tour anymore. And I said, yeah, because everybody is literally doing something close to your golden records or platinum records. I said, let's move them out. And so 6 months later, he's like, I'm ready to go on tour again. Yeah, so because he now has it in his office. So it's in his visual, yeah? Because we're all very visual, right? So if we have like, even the beautiful paintings of our grandkids on the fridge, what are we saying to the grandkids? You're not so valuable, but if you frame it and you put it out on the wall, you're saying to that grandchild, you're so valuable to me. Yeah. So everything around you that is important to you, make it visible. Show. It's not that you show off; you show up for yourself.
Showing up for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And it makes me wonder too, because even when Renee was asking her question to you earlier about where she normally has her morning coffee, your tea, but you're next to the modem and the wires and everything. What can we do for that space there if that's the only space the modem gets plugged into?
Well, some people are more sensitive to it than others, for sure, right? And it is an electromagnetic field, right? So it's possible that you just, for example, put a beautiful crystal there, or there's certain plants that are very good in absorbing some of that energy. Could be a beautiful salt lamp, for example, absorbs a lot of that energy. I mean, there's a lot of things out there on the market that can help you with that. But I would say it will, for more sensitive people, it will be affecting you for sure, right? I cannot do that. I cannot sit close to a modem like this. I need to be a little bit more taking a distance from it. But I would say if it's just a 5 minutes, a half hour, it's fine. But what if you would be sitting there 5, 6 hours? Right? That is where I would then start being perhaps could be interesting and affecting you more than you think. Yeah.
Misty, you have a question. We are going to have a Q&A so that we have interactive audience questions. So if you would like to ask your question now.
To kind of go along with that, where should I put my wallet? Should I get a tree?
A wallet?
A wallet.
Yeah. Well, a wallet is definitely is part of your abundance energy, right? So it's very interesting. A lot of people put them on their nightstands, right? And I always say to people, don't do that. Yeah, because you have to think that when you sleep, your aura field is literally as wide as your arms, right? It's like as wide as this, right? So when it's on your nightstand and you have your wallet there, you will be also more worrying about money actually. Yeah. So I always say, put it in your living room, put it in your success direction when you don't use it because it's a symbol of abundance. Yeah. So that's what I would do, but I would not put it on a nightstand. First of all, you don't make money in your bed. I mean, most of us don't.
The insights and wisdom. I'm actually kind of curious, Marie, because you just said, some people will put their wallet on their nightstand. So, what are 4 or 5 habits, let's call them, or things that you've noticed that people do often that is such a simple tweak that if they adjusted it or they did something else, maybe it's what they do right when they walk into their front door, or something that's right into their foyer, or something that is in their living room. Maybe they spend a lot of time there with their family, that are simple shifts that they can make that really do have those transformative impacts if they just make a shift or two.
Yeah. Well, as you come into your home, I would always say, just have a thought of gratitude. Yeah, you have a home, right? I've been in my life without a home, so I know what it is when you can't find the right home and you are without it. So it's like, have a moment of gratitude. Oh, I'm so happy to be home. Thank you so much. I can be here. That's just a simple thing. But also, I want you to be aware that a lot of people use their side door or their garage to go inside the home. And I always say to people, use your front door more. Because your front door is what we call the mouth of cheese, where the abundance is coming in. And I said, if you use your back door or you use your garage, you actually, the first thing you come in when you're moving into your space is in your garage. It's not so pleasant to see, it's not so beautiful. You take the back door, you see your kitchen, it's not so pleasant. So when you come in, make sure you welcome yourself. Have a beautiful orchid, perhaps a picture of your family, a candle. When you come in, like, oh, I'm at home. I always say to people, in the word home is the word om, right? And it's the oldest and the most beautiful sacred sound there is in the world. So your home can really help your spirit to elevate. Yeah. So that's the first thing I would love for you to do. The second thing, I really would love everybody to go home, and people that are at home right now, is just really take time in the next week to go through your stuff and see what you can let go. Yeah? Because creating space is not just creating space in your environment, it's create space in your mind, create space in your heart, yeah, to go to the next level for yourself. So let go of at least 10%, and that can be given away to goodwill. It can be perhaps things that are broken that you say, like, it can go in the garbage. Just open the space, organize things, yeah, better, because the more you do that, you actually say to yourself, my life will be more organized, my life will be in a better space. So that's something very simple. But start first of all in your bedroom. because your bedroom is the most vulnerable place because you are asleep. So if you have a lot of clutter there, it affects you more than if it's in your living room. Yeah. So declutter your nightstand. Don't have shoes and clothes on the ground. You know, some people are like, oh, I don't have a lot of good romance happening. I said, I can imagine. To get into your bed, I have to fold 3 times over all your clothes and shoes. I mean, it's too much, right? So all the point is that you become aware of that. Yeah. And then one thing I would definitely suggest is also to let go of everything that's broken, old, or dead. And I'm talking about dead plants, for example. Yeah. Anything that is like potpourri or something, there's no vitality in it. Yeah. So let that go, right? Put some fresh flowers. I mean, it's spring, it's summer. Bring beautiful green into your space, an orchid, something like blossoming, so that your mind and your heart is going to blossom too. Yeah.
Those are so good. I see people taking notes here. Those are so good. And Marie, you travel around the world, right? And I love Donna's question earlier because your home is a vision board, but I love that you kind of shared as you travel that your home is where you are. So
Yeah.
even if you're traveling, even if you're not in a space that is your home, you bring things that you would like to see around you in your space. And so what are some of the biggest shifts that you've seen with people as you've traveled around the world and shared some of the messages and the learnings that you have with feng shui, with organizing your space, and with how people connect with the environments that they're in?
Well, I would say that one of the first things that people say to me is that they feel life gets easier. Yeah. Because now it's not just that they're manifesting with their mindset, but it's like everything around them is aligned and they feel like things go easier, more effortless. That's one of the things people feel. I do see, first of all, so that people feel, especially families, businesses, that there's more harmony. There's more peace, there's less conflict, there's less accidents, like people get along better with each other. And that alone just touches my heart because coming from a background where there was in my home very bad feng shui when I grew up, where there was a lot of conflict and abuse on many levels. For me, having a beautiful family now myself, knowing that it is possible when you create and use feng shui to have better relationship with your children, long-term relationship. I'm 35 years married, and to have a space where you feel, peaceful, productive, creative. That is all possible, and that is something that always touches my heart. And then, so many people say like, I found the love of my life after doing this, or my new business went off, or my book became a bestseller, or so all these things that I hear daily. Right? I have more than 2 million online students, so I hear daily all these wonderful stories of people saying, I did everything in The Secret, I did everything in Law of Attraction, nothing was happening till I added your aspect, your system to it. And I said, you have to understand, even the person that was making The Secret, Rhonda Byrne, she came to me telling me, Marie, The Secret doesn't work for me. And I said, let me do my magic. Let me come into your home. Let me come into your office. Let me redesign everything. And once we did that, that's when The Secret took off. And that's why people call me The Secret behind The Secret. That's my nickname. So, but also that so many top people like the late Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, Marion Williamson, they're all these amazing teachers and speakers, Sean Gray, and so many, Vishen Lakhiani, when they are stuck, when their mindset is like not able to create the life and the dreams they have, they call me because there's something off. And when I align everything for them, then they're like, oh, I got to the next level. So your home can elevate your dream or can block your dream. It's up to you to do something about it.
Wow, that is right. Let's give that a round of applause. And I would love to encourage you in the audience to think of your questions. We are about to get into the Q&A portion of this evening in just a moment. But I'd be remiss, Marie, if we didn't, one, congratulate you for the launch of the Marie Diamond Network that launched this week, where you're
Yes, it did.
connecting live with individuals on TV a few times a month. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience has been like for you and what people can expect to learn and how they can expect to engage with you with your new network?
Well, about 10 years ago, I actually got this idea that I wanted to create a Mary Diamond network. And so I put it on my vision board in my success direction. I even created a banner for it at that time. And so, but I had no idea how this was going to happen, right? This was before the streaming platforms, yeah, before we watched Netflix, let's be honest, right? So I was given the opportunity with the platform Fireside, where a lot of top celebrities having their streaming platform, to create my Mary Diamond Network. So we launched it actually yesterday. And so what I do, because I love working with people directly and in person, is that we have several shows every month, and it's all live. And so it's like when you go to Netflix, you pay something monthly, small fee. And so people are every week, every Monday morning, we do a huge meditation and a clearing session for people to help clear their vibration. Then once a month, we do a whole show on manifestation, a show on feng shui. We have guests also coming in. We do a whole heart-to-heart show where I do literally people come in and I do very quick, because that's part of my ability to see energy and to read the vibration and to answer the questions. And so it is live, so it's a beautiful experience. We started yesterday with a bang, so I'm very happy for it. And it's a dream come true for me, because I have students in 190 countries, so to be bringing this community together, and I'm live all the time, then 8 times a month with my community.
And you
Yeah.
had a banner. So you literally,
I
your home is a
did.
vision board. You had a physical expression of what you wanted to
Well,
bring into
we
your
needed
life.
We need to wait 10 years because the technology had to code.
There you go.
Now, I do need to know, in your success section, did you put any awards for your new TV show to win now that it's launched?
Very interesting. I have not. Well, I have Oscars.
Okay.
I have an Emmy, they're fake, right, for the moment.
They're real in the future.
Right, yeah. But I do have in my relationship direction, I do have my Hall of Fame from Los Angeles Tribune. And of course, in my success direction, I have the label of the Los Angeles Tribune. Woo!
Amazing. Well, we know that you've traveled here to be with Marie, so I'd love to open it up for audience questions. I'd love to start with you right here. Do you have a question for Marie? Yeah.
Okay, well, the first thing that comes to mind is I live in an apartment, and there is some other tenants that are on there that are causing some issues. So every time I go home, I'm like, ugh, I'm home. What would be the first thing that you would recommend, other than moving, because I'm not doing that at this time? Is there something that you would recommend other than walking in and going, I'm grateful to have a place
Okay,
to stay?
so repeat it out loud so the online community can hear it. So she lives in an apartment, and the neighbors are not always the most pleasant people around her. She can't move really. So is there anything else she can do energetically living in that space? Because now she comes into the home and she's like, oh, I come back to that space. So first of all, what you can do is actually working with crystals. Yeah, you can work with white quartz crystal or obsidian. Yeah, and really the area where the neighbors are the most difficult. Yeah, on that area, always when you work with crystals, wash your crystals with lavender soap or sea salt water. Yeah, to clear the energy, because you don't know where the crystals have been, and then activate it outside in the sun, not the full moon. Yeah, in feng shui we work with the sunlight, not the full moon. And so you activate it, and then you take the crystal and put intention in it, an intention of protection, for example. And then you put it in the area, like where the people are. Some of you will say, well, it's always above me. Well, then literally hang the crystals on the ceiling in the corners. Yeah. So that's something that a lot of people have said has been very helpful for them. So I would give you that.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Any other questions here for Marie? Renee, do you? Oh, yep, right here.
I can say when I travel, I like to bring my favorite, maybe my rug or my favorite blanket, and I put it over the hotel, what they have. I bring my favorite candle. I bring more than one candle. So I try to make it my own because I travel a lot too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you think
Yeah.
that much.
So I'm just going to repeat. So this lady travels a lot, and she always brings her like a favorite blanket, a favorite scented candle with her. I think that's a great idea because again, it feels more at home, right? I always have like my latest book that I'm brought out, or I bring some books that inspire me. So put things as much as you can, and I call the little travel kits that you make for yourself, and it can be the blanket, it can be your stuffed animal that you really love. Some people love to travel with that, and so fine. Just bring a little bit of your home with you on your travels. Yeah.
I want to say one more
Yeah.
thing.
Go for it.
I went on a trip to Michigan. My dad brought me to Michigan, and we were in an Airbnb, and it was a 100-year-old house, and the room they put me in was angels like weeping really sadly on gravestones. It was almost like haunted, and I told him I can't stay in this room. I'm not even going to sleep here. I am not going to sleep here.
So I'm going to repeat it. So she was staying in an Airbnb, and it was in the bedroom where there were like statues of angels like on a gravestone, like very weeping. So and she couldn't stay there because you already experienced how the energy of the room had shifted because of these images.
Right.
Yeah. So and that's why I always have some lavender mist with me to just spray the energy, take some things down. This is the first thing I always do when I come into an Airbnb. And sometimes in a hotel, I'm like, I cannot have that image above my headboard, right? So I take them off, or I have extra fabrics, I put it over. Like my husband just arrived in an Airbnb 2 days ago in the south of France as he's traveling with the kids. And as it was an image of a sea landscape, like with the dunes and water. And he come and shows me and said, I need to take that down, don't I? And I said, yes, sweetheart, because you cannot have water above your headboard because you're actually drowning, right? And it's this, the dunes, it's like, it's kind of desert in a way. It's sand above you. Like what if you would lay under there? How would you feel, right? So many times, you know, when we go to places, like the first thing my kids know, like, okay, this will be taken down. This is going to be in the closet. So I actually I take pictures before, and then I can put it back in the right place. But it's just, if there's something that you don't like in a space, it is because it doesn't resonate with your vibration.
Right.
Yeah? Pay attention to that. Yeah?
That is really good. We're gonna, for those of you that are tuning in live in our online audience, encourage you to ask our question. Our colleague here will ask it on your behalf. And so, for those of you that are here, what are other curiosities that you have around the spaces that you may be spending a lot of time in or traveling to? And I have a question that we didn't get a chance to ask earlier, Marie, but you were talking about, think about the spaces that you spend more than 5 hours in. For individuals that don't work from home, that work in a space that's outside of their home, that may be a shared space, right? Where it's not only them that is experiencing the space. How can they approach their interactions with their space, or how can they make their space liven it up a little bit for ways that serve them, but also don't detract from all the other people that may be sharing the space with them?
Of course. So let's say you're in a shared space. Like I said, bring some essential oils with you, or a spray that you feel like, oh, when I spray that, oh, I feel so at home. Could be vanilla, could be cookies, I don't know, whatever you like. But just spray a little bit. Like I went to I remember my first company that I worked for as a lawyer. I went earlier than anybody else, and I was spraying, like just to have like a feeling of, oh, I feel good here, right? And then make sure perhaps you have a desk, perhaps you're sitting somewhere, I don't know, wherever it is. You can perhaps a book that inspires you for the moment. perhaps a picture of your family because you're working perhaps for your family. It can be bringing a little crystal that you really like that you place there. It doesn't have to be a lot, but something that is pleasant for you and that inspires you. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be that other people even notice what it is. I always say best feng shui is that even people don't have an idea that it is feng shui. Yeah. So when people come in my home, they're like, "Oh my God, I love it is here," but they don't even know what it really is because, literally it doesn't show that it's from a feng shui master, but it's a combination of colors. So and then you can work with colors specifically. For example, if you want to have more clarity, like more focus, then work with like an aqua blue. Yeah, so it could be that you have bring an aqua blue crystal or something in that color that you put on your table because you'll be more focused when you do that. When you want more abundance, then you perhaps can have like a pyramid that's like a gold fake gold crystal, or perhaps a gold candle you put there. It doesn't have to be a lot, but your mind will get the message because of the colors and the vibrations.
I love that too. What I'm really curious about is, have you ever had someone make a change in their room and then they just didn't resonate with it? Like changing out a color to the curtains and then they live with it for 6 months, but then they still don't love it.
Well, I always give several options when I work in somebody's home because, I will say, for example, look, you need more earth energy. Earth energy can be beige, can be yellow, can be pink, can be orange. And I said, and we actually muscle test people's body to see if it's the right color for them. And that's one of the ways that I will know their body will say yes to it. Yeah. But also, like, these are the options, for example, I want more metal. Hey, you can do white, you can do silver, you can do gold, you can do bronze. What do you like? And say, oh, I like more bronze. That's fine by me, as long as it is that kind of element. Yeah. So I try to really, I work with a lot of interior designers, so I always try to make sure the element is there, the energy is there, but still people need to love the space, right? It's their space. It's not my home. Right? It's their space. So I always try to find, and if they don't like it, then, and sometimes it's resistance also, right? I remember one of my best friends, I wanted to really help her. She was really in a mess. And I said, let me do your feng shui. And so I changed everything. And I always say to people, leave it at least 9 days. Because 9 days is what it needed to change the chi, to create the energy. And because after 9 days, you will start feeling the shift in your mindset, yeah? And of course, she was like, I hate it. And she was like, okay. So after 2 days, she shifted everything back to the old space and her life is still as stagnant as before. So she had the possibility to get free advice from a feng shui master. And didn't take it. Yeah.
Well, I love that you actually mentioned that with the 9 days, right? Because it can be easy for someone to change something and be like, after 40, oh, it didn't work, let me change it back. But there is an integration process, is what you're saying,
is.
that it
I always
requires
say
that.
Minimum 9 days to 9 weeks. Yeah? But most people, once they have changed that bed, once they have put something else, they don't change it back because they really feel it within 9 days. Like so many times people said, my God, I remember this woman and I came into her home and there was like literally at the entrance is her garbage bin. And I said, put that away, right? She had, in her bedroom, she had like her fridge, everything around her was like, showed really lack of abundance energy. And so we changed all that around and she said, what will be the result? I said, I don't know what's stuck in your field, so I don't know how the universe will respond back to it. And what happened is like the next day, she calls me and she's like, Marie, I get this unexpected check in the mail for $4,000. And she said, I didn't even know that somebody would, give that to me. And I said, well, you put your garbage bin away, it could come, right? So it's like, and I was just talking to this afternoon to a podcast host, and he was like, I didn't believe anything of what you were sharing, but I did it, and I changed my desk around, and he said a week later, I got a notice that apparently I have outstanding money from the government I was not aware of, and they were like, they had sent me mails, but I didn't even open the mails because I thought like, oh, this is another tax or something. It was actually, he was $10,000 granted by the government. And he's like, I knew because I changed my desk, I had a different mindset, I was open for abundance, and I opened the envelope. And there were 4 other envelopes sent already to me that I never opened. So I didn't even know I had $10,000 waiting for me. Yeah. So it's like this whole change of vibration that is happening. Your home is now supporting you instead of, like I said, holding back. And so that is why Feng Shui and Your Home is a Vision Board explains it in a very simple way, is actually creating very practical, easy steps that everybody can do.
Yeah. Yeah, your home is co-creating and co-collaborating with
It
you
is, yeah.
in what you would like to bring into your life. Yes, we have a question. Yes.
Okay, for chronic anxiety, what are some of the most effective changes I can do to the room I spend the most time in? What changes can I make that would be the most effective for helping me soothe my chronic anxiety and move out of that phase?
Okay, so the question is, she is in a phase of anxiety and she wants to know what would be the best for her to do, some practical tips to get easier out of that situation. First of all, always sit in a power position. Yeah? Day and night, literally. That means at night when you wake up, you see the door. Every moment you can, at your couch, at your dining room table, in your coffee shop that you're visiting, always face your power position, because your energy will go literally from beta to alpha. When beta vibration, our energy goes to the back of our head, and literally that is where we are anxious. We're thinking about the past. When we are looking and seeing ourselves in a power position, our energy goes to the frontal lobe, and what happens, we get more alpha vibration. That means you are more thinking about the future, you're more creative. That's the first thing I always want you to do. Yeah? Simple, easy to do.
I can feel that I'm more anxious when things are going on behind me.
Indeed, when things are going on behind you, you're more anxious. If you're facing a wall with your desk, you're literally hitting a wall, like nothing is moving forward. There's no space to create. Nobody can even sit there on the other side. And then you're with your back to the door, so anything can happen. You're like all the time, oh, what is going on? So you're more on that flight mode. Alert mode, right? So that's the first thing I want to change. The second thing, always try to face one of your 4 directions. So you download the app, and in the app it indicates 4 directions that are good for you and 4 directions that are empty. Again, when you face a good direction, your vibration goes to alpha. Within 3 seconds, you create more alpha. We tested with encephalograms. It is amazing. Yeah. So that each time brings you out of that alert mode, that anxious mode. Yeah. And then I would love for you to really look at your home, like what are the colors. So if you want to have less anxiety, perhaps that's why I'm wearing it, I wear orange. And orange is the color of joy. It's the color of happiness. Yeah, literally in the Netherlands, you know, the Dutch-speaking people, and I speak Dutch, the royal family is from the House of Orange. And when people go there to the soccer team, they all wear orange. When they go partying for carnival, they wear orange. But they're like the most outgoing, optimistic people that you can imagine in all of Europe. Yeah? And it's because orange is an earth color, so use that more. Yeah, and it can be by putting pillows, candles, table mats, orange flowers. Bring orange in. People always become more happier. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Marie, we're gonna open it up for questions in just a moment, but we would like to take a moment to recognize you for the work that you do, Marie, and for the impact that your book, Your Home is a Vision Board, has been having on individuals from all around the world. So on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune, on the behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune community and the executive team, we're so proud to announce that your book, Your Home is a Vision Board, is a Los Angeles Tribune critically acclaimed best-selling book, and you are a Los Angeles Tribune critically acclaimed best-selling author.
What an honor. Thank
Your
you so much.
your book, you know, the Los Angeles Tribune critically acclaimed bestseller recognition is all about books and literary works of art that are culturally relevant, that have impact, and are really helping to expand the mindset of the communities that read them. And your home is a vision board is doing just that. It has had such a profound impact on individuals. Your work has. We heard the testimonials earlier today. You even heard it from Donna with that 200-pound amethyst that looks gorgeous, by the way, in her office. But
Everyone sees it on the Zoom call.
Yes, it is
because
beautiful.
it's right there.
But on behalf of our CEO, Morak, our editor-in-chief, Abavi Manuel, our chief operating officer, Parisa Rose, who's here with us today, Donna Campbell, who is the executive vice president of the LA Tribune Film Division, myself, the chief strategy officer here at the Los Angeles Tribune. We are so honored to recognize you with this critically acclaimed bestseller recognition because of the impact that you're having. It's not just about designing your home. You're helping people expand their mindsets, transform their lives in such a physical way, but in a way that has a really long lasting impact. And so we just want to say we honor you.
Thank
and
you
we
so very
recognize
much.
you, and congratulations.
Thank you. And this will go again in my success direction.
Awards.
Awards in a
Awards.
golden frame.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And Marie, I know we're gonna have time to connect with those that are joining us here live. I know that there are many joining us from all around the world online, but would love for you to just hold space to share thoughts that have been on your mind, or they're about your book, Your Home is a Vision Board, the launch of the Marie Diamond Network that you literally created in your space with a banner 10 years ago, or any of the other kind of conversations that you've been having with people. Would love for you to just share what is on your mind and heart to connect with our audience here today.
Well, we are definitely in a time where we call that in feng shui a time of fire. And so that actually started in January last year. It's a 20-year cycle. And the time of fire is always a time of huge transformation, where literally sometimes things go into ashes, but the phoenix will rise from it. And we have experienced that in Los Angeles, unfortunately, already this year. But fire also stands for purpose and passion. And so I would suggest and invite actually everybody to really look into, is your home reflecting your passion? Is your home reflecting your purpose? And if you don't have that yet, and you don't know what that purpose and passion is, I would say there are so many beautiful teachers and formats where that people can help you to find your purpose and passion. And so this is the next 20 years. It's not about, okay, I'm going to perhaps do something in my life. No, it's like, what are you going to focus on? And this third aspect of fire is impact. Yeah, we talked about it already a little bit. Today, you know, even with the beautiful movie that comes out, The Pillars of Power, what the Los Angeles Tribune does for the last few years is really creating huge impact. With the kindness movement, global kindness movement was so important. So the question is, what is your positive impact in the world? And I ask myself that every morning. Yeah. When I came out of my near-death experience, coma, at 15, I got a message on the other side, in light, that I was here to enlighten more than 500 million people. Now, of course, I had no idea what that meant. And you don't all have to go to a near-death experience to find your purpose, by the way. But it was like my way, right? And what happened was, you know, I got that message, but I asked myself that every morning. I say every morning to God, the universe, I am here to fulfill my passion, my purpose, and that is to enlighten more than 500 million people. And I always pray, show me how. show me the next step. And indeed, this can be a baby step. It can be here tonight, being with the wonderful ladies and all of you online and in person, to share about my work. It can be, you know, talking to one person in the grocery store that you help them out when they can't reach something, right? Whatever it is, you know, ask yourself every morning, pray for that, like, show me how I can fulfill my purpose. Yeah? It's a simple question. And another question I ask myself every morning is, God, universe, show me how I can love more. Yeah. How can I love more myself? How can I love more others? How can I spread more love? And if love is kindness, that's the same thing then for you. And we need to ask ourselves these intense questions, you know, because that will help us to lead to purpose and passion and making an impact in the world. So I just invite you to find that out for yourself. And of course, we can look at the chaos and the situations that are going on in the world, but ultimately, you need to focus on you right now, not in an egoistic way, but in a way like, what can I contribute in a positive way to my family, to my community, to the world? For some of you, it will be your family. For some of you, it will be your community. For others, it will be global. I don't know what it's going to be, but don't hold back. Don't hide. Just show up.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Marie.
Just show up.
Just show up. Well, Marie, it's been such a pleasure to be here with you today, to learn more about your work and to hear you speak more about your home as a vision board. For those of you that have joined us in person, there are copies of Marie's book that can be purchased here at the register, and she will be signing books today, which is such a marvelous treat. We encourage you to stick around, to connect with each other, to meet someone you didn't know. Yes, buy a few for your friends and family. Connect with someone that you don't know while you're here, and encourage you to, the day is still young, right? What is an act of kindness that you can share with the world? But it truly is a phenomenal book. If you haven't read it, I do encourage you, when you do read it, to read it in your home, because you're going to actually want to move some things around. Don't read it on a plane, don't read it on a train, but to really sit in your space and also reflect about your space before you take action to move it. Let go and release what you're removing or adjusting in your space, and welcome what you're about to create with the shifts in the movement that you're doing, and really, nurture that experience. This is a movement to see your vision board in life, in 3D, in person. You're really shifting the way that people connect with their space, but also how they co-create in their life, using their space to really be that partner. And so, Marie, we thank you for all the work you've done and all the work that you're going to continue to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you to the Los Angeles Tribune for organizing this. It actually was on my vision board in the beginning of the year to speak and to do book signing in the Grove, Barnes and Noble. So thank you for Los Angeles Tribune to make this happen.
Wow, thank you so much, Marie. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you all that have joined us here in person. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing.
All right.